Chapter 1. Ryan changed his university application at the last minute, backing out of the childhood engagement we had agreed upon. He left me behind in the north. Sister, it's hard for you to be alone in the south. I want to be with her.
Please understand, he said.
I held back my tears and turned to Ryan's brother. The night before our engagement, Ryan barged into the party with red eyes. I've treated you like a brother and you steal my fiancé? Ryan's probably just tired. Maybe he stayed up too late last night and couldn't wake up. It's fine. Let's just wait for him, my mom said, trying to calm everyone, though she couldn't stop the laughter and mocking from the guests. Maybe Ryan doesn't want to come. Honestly, what 18-year-old boy wants to commit for life? Today was both my graduation party and our engagement celebration, yet I hadn't been able to reach Ryan for over an hour. My palms clenched and relaxed as I lowered my head to hide my embarrassment. Our families had known each other since childhood. Our grandfathers had fought side by side, and our marriage had been arranged since we were kids. The first time I saw him, I liked him instantly, but as we grew up, he began to despise this childhood arrangement. When the adults teased, "Ryan, going to see your little wife again?" he would frown, make a sound of disapproval, and quickly distance himself. So annoying. Stop following me.
Why?
I told you I'm not coming. The present and the past overlapped in my mind, and I realized his father had personally come to fetch him. He looked like he had just rolled out of bed, his hair messy, his cold expression full of resentment. Bang! His father slammed an acceptance letter onto the table and barked, "Tell me, why did you change your application?" Ryan raised his brows nonchalantly. "I'm an adult. I can make my own decisions. I don't need you controlling me." The acceptance letter was pushed toward me across the long table. I lightly touched the shiny letters, my fingers trembling. Hainan University. The night before filling out the applications, our families had gathered to discuss where to apply. Ryan, munching on an apple, suddenly said, "Let's go to Beijing." Emma's never been to Beijing. His deep, dark eyes met mine. "What do you think, Emma?" That sudden eye contact made my heart skip a beat. I nervously looked away, pinched my red ear, and nodded. So both forms for Peking University were filled out and submitted. No one expected Ryan to change his mind halfway through. A tear fell without warning, staining the bright acceptance letter red. I hurried to wipe it away, but the blood-colored tear kept falling. Ryan was still arguing stubbornly with his father, but when he saw me crying, he immediately stopped talking and pulled me out of the room. He handed me a tissue. "Wipe it off. You're still the same crybaby." Ryan stood with his arms crossed, leaning against the pillar, watching me. I suddenly felt embarrassed and turned away. "Don't look at me." All right, I'm not looking." His tone was playful, yet indulgent. When my emotions calmed, he rubbed his nose and explained, "About the change, I didn't tell you on purpose. I just didn't want Grandpa giving me trouble if he found out, so I didn't say anything. With transportation so good now, if you miss me, I'll just hop on a plane to see you. It's easy." Seeing his rare, gentle expression, my bad mood melted away. "Okay, I'll talk to Grandpa properly." "Really? Thanks, Emma." Ryan was so excited he hugged me tightly, warmth spreading between us. But soon, he let go without a trace of affection. "I'm heading out. I have plans with some friends." He still hadn't mentioned the engagement. On impulse, I followed him, wanting to ask. But I saw Ryan quickly walk toward a girl, gently fixing her messy hair. His voice was soft and full of affection. "Senior, have you been waiting long? My family matter is settled, but you know I have this clingy childhood friend. Don't worry, my feelings for her are only brotherly. We can't have any conflict, yet she's easy to handle, and I still need her to cover for us." Chapter 2. I don't remember how I got home that day. I only remember the moonlight bright, but cold. To avoid Ryan, I didn't return home the entire summer. Ryan called me once. "Emma, if my dad asks whether I'm with you, don't say anything you shouldn't." I clenched my fingers until the tips turned white. "All right." Before he could hang up, I quickly asked, "If you're not home, where are you?" "Just hanging out with a senior from my university in Jingdija." The background noise on Ryan's phone was chaotic, but I faintly heard a cheerful female voice. "Ryan, who are you talking to? Hurry and help me. I can't hold this piece of clay." "I'm hanging up. We'll talk later. When he ended the call, I glanced toward a nearby couple, curled up together. The girl was nestled in his arms, their hands intertwined, the affection undeniable. I stood frozen, letting bitterness consume me, without the courage to confront them. Soon, the day came for school to start. My parents, busy with work, couldn't accompany me, but they were worried about me traveling alone with all my luggage, so they asked Ryan to make sure I got to school safely. "Don't worry, Uncle, Aunt. I'll make sure Emma arrives safely," Ryan said with a lazy smile, twirling the ends of my damp hair. Once it was confirmed Ryan would go with me, I had no chance to object. I secretly studied his perfectly sculpted profile, a fleeting feeling rising in my chest. At midnight, Ryan jumped over the balcony and tapped on my window. "What are you doing here?" Ryan stepped forward, his fresh scent filling my nose. Without answering, he frowned, walked past me, and headed to the bathroom. When he came out, he had a hair dryer in his hand. "Come here." As the hum of the hair dryer filled the air, Ryan's long fingers combed through my hair, occasionally brushing against my neck and sending shivers down my spine. After a while, he put the dryer down and tucked the loose strands behind my ear. "You're grown up now, you know that sleeping with wet hair will give you a headache?" I turned my gaze away, anger welling up inside me. "Don't worry about it." Ryan chuckled softly. "All right, I won't. But when the time comes, you'll be the one going to Beijing." I thought he was just saying it out of annoyance, but to my surprise, he never showed up. I stood in the crowded train station, calling him over and over, but no one answered. As time passed, I had no choice but to drag my heavy suitcases to the platform by myself. When I boarded the train, I saw the overhead compartments were already full. I had no choice but to try putting the smaller suitcase on the upper rack. But women's suitcases are deceptively heavy. What looks small can weigh as much as gold. I shifted my grip, sweating profusely. The people behind me muttered impatiently, "Are you done yet? If you can't lift it, just leave it. Don't waste everyone's time." My face burned with embarrassment. "Sorry, I'll be quick." But my hands were too weak, and I lost my strength. I watched as the suitcase fell, and I closed my eyes in fright only to feel a strong arm, muscles taut and veins standing out, catch it. Even those veins, hard to describe, carried an undeniable sensuality. Following my gaze downward, I saw a masculine, handsome face with arched brows and a tall, straight nose. Flustered, I thanked him. "It's fine. When we reach your stop, call me, and I'll help you take it down." "But I'm going to the last stop." He looked surprised. "I'm going to Beijing too. What a coincidence." Even more of a coincidence, he was seated right next to me. It was then I realized my family had booked a two-person seat with Ryan. Any lingering hope crumbled. Ryan had probably refunded his ticket long ago. The excuse I'd given in anger that day was simply convenient for him not to accompany me. Chapter 3. Somehow, Ryan's father found out he hadn't come to see me off and called me specifically to apologize on his behalf. He repeatedly assured me that Ryan would give me an explanation. After hanging up, I opened WeChat. Ryan, who had vanished, had just posted a status. He was in a racing suit, posing coolly, but in the corner of the photo was a faint touch of pink. Caption: "Had a great day." A profile with a cat icon commented, "I'm happy too." It wasn't hard to guess she was Ryan Sr. Because of her, Ryan had left me behind time and again. He knew well that I feared loneliness, yet he abandoned me anyway. I felt as if 1,000 needles were piercing me, a constant ache filling my chest. Suddenly, a slip of paper appeared in front of me. The man politely turned his head. "Wipe your face." Only then did I realize my cheeks were wet with tears. "Thank you." Perhaps to distract me, he introduced himself. "My name's Hudson. I'm a freshman in the computer science department at Peking University." "Nice to meet you." I looked up slightly and shook his hand. "Emma, mathematics department, Peking University." "Nice to meet you too." Our hands met, and as Hudson withdrew his pinky finger brushed the back of my hand, sending a tingling sensation through me. With Hudson by my side, the trip to school felt much easier. He willingly carried more than half of my luggage. Feeling a little embarrassed, I said, "Thanks, Hudson. Let me treat you to dinner." He gladly accepted. We ate Beijing local dishes. Hudson seemed to have a healthy appetite, so I ordered a table full of food. Hudson laughed and shook his head. Do you think I eat that much? I gave an awkward laugh. Looks like I ordered a bit too much. Not wanting to waste food, we both ate in silence. Then a phone rang, breaking the quiet. Ryan's name appeared on my screen. I hit decline and blocked him. After doing so, I felt a wave of relief, almost as if I could eat a few more bites of meat. While serving me food, Hudson asked cautiously, "Who is that on the phone just now? If it's urgent, you should take care of it." My mouth was full, my words muffled. "Just someone unimportant. Don't worry about him, let's keep eating." I don't know if it was my imagination, but Hudson seemed in a good mood, a faint smile lingering on his lips. The start of the semester was so busy that I fell into bed the moment I got home. Hudson made sure to look after me whenever he could. Little by little, Ryan seemed to fade from my life. Yet he always carried himself with that same calm, as if nothing had ever happened. After class one day, there was a commotion outside the dormitory. Groups of smitten girls gathered, blushing as they looked at the tall figure in the crowd. "He's so handsome. Is he from our school? Who do you think is more handsome, him or our school's most popular guy, Hudson?" "Forget who's more handsome. It looks like he's waiting for someone. Probably has a girlfriend." I wasn't interested, so I lowered my head and tried to walk around the crowd.
But someone called out to me.
"Emma?" Ryan pushed through the crowd toward me, his warm, bright smile lighting up his face. Sunlight spilled over his shoulders, wrapping him in a golden aura just like the first time we met. Our mothers had been pregnant at the same time, but after my mother gave birth to me, her health worsened, so she took me to the countryside to recover. The first time I met Ryan was in junior high, when I transferred to his school and became his classmate. Back then, I was a country girl, plainly dressed, with a terrible English accent, so the whole class mocked me and kept their distance. Every day, my desk was messy, and someone would scrawl "country bumpkin" in red across it. When I felt most humiliated, Ryan slammed the desks and chairs of those around me, his eyes fierce. "I dare anyone to bother her again. Emma is mine." After that, afraid I would feel lonely, Ryan always found excuses to stay by my side. But reality is not the same as memories, and in the end, we grew further and further apart. Chapter 4, Is Something Wrong? Ryan raised an eyebrow in surprise. "I haven't even questioned you yet, so why are you the one confronting me first?" "That day I really had something to do, which is why I couldn't come see you. Besides, didn't I ask Hudson to take care of you? Not only are you ungrateful, you throw a tantrum and block me, Emma. How cruel of you." Before I could ask why Hudson had never mentioned Ryan, all the frustration and anger I had been bottling up erupted. "By something, you mean going racing with your senior, right? Do you even understand who your real girlfriend is?" I had become what I hated, most a love-crazed fool. Seeing my tear-streaked face, Ryan softened his tone, trying to pacify me. "I know you're my girlfriend, but my senior once did me a favor, and I can't abandon her. Look, from now on I'll come see you every week, all right?" I bit my lip and stayed silent. Ryan's patience ran out, and his eyes slowly turned cold. "I'm with you because of Grandpa. Emma, please understand your place. You have no right to interfere in my affairs." A blow followed by a sweet gesture. This was Ryan's usual tactic. He bet I couldn't leave him, that I still liked him. But I no longer wanted to be a lovesick fool. In the silence, I spoke calmly. "Then let's break up." I cut off all contact with Ryan, only hearing about him occasionally through mutual friends. He began dating various other girls, apparently still to please his senior, constantly updating his social media with photos of himself with different girlfriends. I had always known Ryan was a player, that he hated being tied down by our childhood engagement, and that included hating me. After the breakup, I went through a long period of withdrawal. Every day, when I opened my eyes, I saw his face, his image replayed endlessly in my mind. But over time, the vision of that boy in a blue and white striped shirt grew blurry. I had a long dream. In it, Ryan held my hand as we strolled through streets and alleys, expressing his love freely. We went to a temple to pray, kissed at the top of a Ferris wheel, all to receive the blessing of growing old together. When the time was right, we naturally married, traveled the world, and eventually had the fruits of our love. In the dream, it was a whirlwind of happiness. It felt like my whole life. But when I woke, I clutched my chest in loss and melancholy, cold tears streaming down my face. This time, I truly let him go. Chapter 5. The first year passed quickly, and soon the new year arrived. I had made excuses not to go home during previous holidays, claiming school obligations, but this time, I truly couldn't avoid it. I declined Hudson's invitation to travel together, but ended up in the same train carriage as him anyway. Ever since I learned he was good friends with Ryan, I had tried to keep my distance. But I couldn't resist when he kept approaching me so shamelessly. Hudson switched seats with the girl next to me. What a coincidence, Emma. The seat was narrow, and his presence seemed to envelop me entirely. I turned my head to look out the window, ignoring him. After a while, I suddenly felt a weight on my shoulder. Hudson, tired, began nodding off until his head finally rested on my shoulder, and he fell deeply asleep. I frowned, ready to push him away. But when I noticed the dark shadows under his eyes, for some reason, I held back my hand. He seemed to sense my tolerance, pressing his head even closer to my neck. His warm breath made my ears burn. I was both embarrassed and annoyed. Hudson immediately straightened up, his eyes bright and alert. What a faker pretending to sleep just to trick me. I didn't respond again. As the train neared the station, Hudson stopped me and handed me his phone. On the screen were chat messages between him and Ryan. The last message from Ryan read, "Hudson, take care of Emma for me. Don't let anyone get close to her. Also, her stomach isn't good, so make sure to bring her breakfast every day. I'll transfer you the money." Hudson had taken a while to respond. No need. The next message showed Hudson's serious and sincere words. "I'm showing you this because I want you to know my care for you isn't because Ryan asked it, it's because I want to. I agreed to help him for my own selfish reasons."
And you are that selfish reason.
We were adults now. I shouldn't be so naive. I quickly looked away, my steps a little unsteady. Hudson followed me out of the station. Not far away, Ryan spotted me and quickly came over. "Emma, give me your luggage." "No need." I avoided his outstretched hand. Ryan, awkward, patted Hudson's shoulder. "A true good friend, thanks." Hudson glanced at me casually. "It's nothing." Standing by the trunk, I was preparing to put my suitcase inside when a hand reached over me and swiftly grabbed it. Looking up, I caught only Hudson's strong, attractive profile. A wave of discomfort rushed through me. Seeing Ryan open the front passenger door, I didn't hesitate and slid into the back seat instead. Ryan's expression collapsed. He didn't say a word the entire trip, radiating coldness. I didn't have time to think about his mood. My mind was entirely caught on one thought. Why did Hudson feel like a furnace? The heat was overwhelming, making me feel completely warm. Chapter 6. As usual, our two families spent the new year together. At the table, our parents silently left the seat next to Ryan open for me, so I reluctantly sat down. "Emma, eat this. I peeled it for you." A plate of shrimp was placed in front of me. Without looking at him, I pushed it back. "No thanks, I'm allergic to shrimp." I really didn't feel like coming up with a decent excuse, so I just made up a poor one that I've always loved shrimp, and both families knew it. Realizing something was off between Ryan and me, our parents suggested I go with him to buy fireworks. I lowered my head and followed slowly behind him. Holding a sparkler in his hand, Ryan turned and smiled at me. "Emma, you always ask me to play with sparklers every New Year's Eve. It was my fault before, but today I'll go with you." Looking at the sparkler triggered some memories. In the past, every New Year's Eve, Ryan and I would buy fireworks together. He loved thrilling things, especially Gatling-style firecrackers, but he always made fun of sparklers. Back then, when we paid, Ryan ignored my excitement and pulled out the sparkler, mocking me lightly. "How old are you? Still playing with sparklers? So childish." Snapping out of my thoughts, I looked away and spoke softly. "No thanks. It's childish." Ryan awkwardly set it aside. But just as I was turning to leave, he stopped me, placing both hands on my shoulders. "Emma, there's been a misunderstanding." I lifted my head, my eyes full of sarcasm. "A misunderstanding? Do you mean changing your major to Hainan University was a misunderstanding?" Or is it a misunderstanding that you keep leaving me for your senior? I'm clearly your girlfriend, yet you keep hurting me for someone else. Is that a misunderstanding, Ryan? He released my shoulders, regret in his eyes. I know I've hurt you beyond repair, but would you give me a chance? Let me make it up to you. My phone vibrated in my hand. It was a message from Hudson. I'm downstairs at your place. Let's light fireworks together. The name, Hudson, appeared on the screen, and Ryan barely caught sight of it. Before any suspicion could form, I said, "No thanks." And Ryan, thanks for the red envelope. Before leaving, Ryan handed me all the red envelopes he had received, including the one he gave me, stuffed together. Why would I reject money? But when Ryan heard the way I addressed him, it struck him like thunder, freezing him in place, his blood running cold. Ryan was only 2 months older than me. When we first met, I hid behind my mother and timidly called him Brother Ryan. Later, as a girl growing up, I stopped calling him that and used his name instead. Now, I had gone back to being the little sister, no longer dreaming of reaching for that bright moon. Ryan stood there, watching my figure fade into the distance, his heart growing more restless, as if something important was slipping away. Chapter 7. From afar, I saw Hudson standing downstairs in a thin leather jacket. Though he looked like a tough guy, his eyes betrayed deep frustration when he saw me. "Where have you been? I've been waiting for you a long time. Your hand was so cold when you touched mine."
I didn't buy it.
"All right, stop pretending. Come upstairs with me. I'll find one of my dad's jackets for you to wear." I walked ahead, but Hudson hesitated to follow. "I'm not ready to meet your parents yet. Let's wait a little. When I'm ready, I'll definitely find a chance to visit your uncle and aunt formally." The way he said it made it sound like some unpresentable bride meeting her in-laws. I suppressed the tickle in my chest. "Then let's go to the mall. I'll buy you a new jacket." Hudson gave a triumphant smile and came to take my hand. "Cold? You'll know once you hold my hand." His hand was broad and warm, and my cold fingers slowly began to heat up. My heart felt warmer too. Seeing I didn't pull away, Hudson's smile grew wider. "Let's light fireworks." A bag full of various sparklers, with a pair of Gatlings among them. With his large fingers, Hudson held a heart-shaped sparkler, looking a little ridiculous. I couldn't help but laugh at him. "Hudson, must you be so silly?" Hudson laughed without answering, pulling a Gatling out of the bag. "Wanna try?" I was eager. "Let's do it." Hudson wrapped me in his arms, his firm hand steadying my elbow, filling me with a sense of security. Fireworks burst in the sky one after another, and my face flushed with excitement. Suddenly, Ryan's voice came from behind. "Hudson, playing with your girlfriend?" Startled, I quickly ducked into Hudson's jacket. Hudson looked down and nodded. "Yes. Aren't you two just like brother and sister? Since when did you have a girlfriend? You won't even introduce her to me?" My face pressed against his chest. I felt the vibrations of his laughter.
She's shy.
"I'll introduce her next time." "All right." After Ryan left, I cautiously peeked out of his jacket only to meet Hudson's playful gaze. "Why are you hiding? Afraid to be seen with me?" I rolled my eyes and gave him a light jab in the chest. "Should I tell Ryan you've been using your brotherly bond to steal his girl? Aren't you afraid he'll hit you?" Hudson caught my mischievous hand, sighing inwardly. How small is her hand? How soft. "I'm not afraid. He can't beat me."
Arrogant.
Absolutely arrogant. Chapter 8. After that day, Hudson occasionally invited me out, and I accepted every time. Seeing us together like a couple, Ryan started to feel something wasn't right. Leaving the cinema one evening, Hudson's phone kept buzzing. His hands were full, so he said, "My phone's in my pocket. The password is your birthday." I was a little surprised and secretly pleased.
Oh.
When I saw they were all messages from Ryan, I teased, "Oh, all your good friends messaging you." Glancing over them quickly, I saw most were Ryan asking Hudson to give me advice or speak on his behalf, but there were few hints about our relationship. I pointed at one and read it aloud. "When did you get so close to Emma?" Hudson smiled, ruffling my hair as he handed me the things in his hands. Back and forth. I struggled to push his arm away and leaned closer to see. "Let me see what you replied." Hudson raised his arm high, looking down at me with a faint smile. "Try and take my phone if you can." My competitive streak flared, and I gripped his arm, using it to push myself upward in a jump. But Hudson bent down, lifting me effortlessly and holding me by the waist. His warm, strong arms held me, an undeniable presence surrounding me. Flustered, I struggled. Put me down. No, a little boy passing by stared at us with envy. Dad, I want you to carry me like that, sister. It looks so cool. The boy's father obliged, and soon, children all over the mall were in their father's arms, looking extremely proud. I hit Hudson in frustration. Put me down. If you don't, I won't talk to you again. Only then did Hudson set me on the ground. As soon as my feet touched, I ran off, swearing to ignore this annoying guy for the next few days. When I got home, before I could even catch my breath, I was dragged into a family gathering. Ryan stood up and said, "This time, I'll make sure Emma gets to school safe and sound." I frowned. "No need, I'm going with Hudson." My mom asked, "Hudson is your classmate?" "Yes." "Then the three of you can go together," my dad concluded. I pouted and went to my room. Checking my phone, I saw all of Hudson's messages. "Miss Emma, I'm sorry. I won't pick you up and carry you like a child again. Please forgive me, please, please." Along with a picture of a puffy puppy. "I'll keep holding my breath until you talk to me." I couldn't help but smile, looking up only to meet Ryan's dark expression. "What's your relationship with Hudson?" I stood up, grabbing a jacket and draping it over my shoulders. "What's it to you? If you climb onto my balcony again without asking, I'll call the police." Ryan clenched his fists, holding back his turmoil, and spoke with a hint of bitterness. "Emma, do we really have to end up like this?" I looked up at him calmly. "Isn't this exactly what you wanted? You hated being trapped in this childhood engagement, so I'm setting you free. What more do you want from me? If you're afraid of what Grandpa will say, I'll find time to confess to him before I go back to school. Don't worry." "That's not what I meant." "Then what did you mean?" In the silence that followed, Ryan's phone rang loudly. He quickly glanced at it, hid it behind his back, and hit decline. The phone rang again insistently. I gave a small laugh. "Go ahead and answer. Don't keep your senpai waiting." "Emma," Ryan hesitated for a moment, then left. Watching his back fade into the night, I suddenly felt an inexplicable sadness. The love and affection he spoke of were so shallow, they didn't even measure up to the passionate young man I once knew. Chapter 9. I took some time to visit the old house. Both grandfathers were in excellent health, playing chess and practicing Tai Chi with ease. When they saw me, though they didn't say anything, the smiles in their eyes never faded. They invited me to play chess and try some tea. I stayed for dinner, and when it was time to leave, I finally brought up the topic of canceling our arranged marriage. Both grandfathers seemed to already know what was coming. "I was wondering why you seemed so distracted." "Turns out you've been hiding something," Ryan's grandfather said, displeased. "Did Ryan do something to you? If he did, tell me, I'll take care of it." I quickly explained, "It's not about him, it's just that I don't like him anymore." Ryan's grandfather sighed. "When we arranged this marriage, we thought we were giving you someone to rely on. Our families knew each other well, and we thought he'd never hurt you. We didn't expect this boy to end up breaking your heart. It's my fault. I shouldn't have interfered in your relationship. Because of me, you've suffered." I felt my nose sting and threw myself into my grandfather's arms, sobbing uncontrollably. Time flew, and graduation was just around the corner. My parents didn't want to miss my ceremony, so they made time to come to Beijing. This time, Hudson came well prepared, bringing several bottles of expensive wine, cigarettes, and skincare products. My parents had known for some time that I had broken up with Ryan. They had a hunch something was going on, but they didn't realize it was with Hudson. "Uncle, Aunt, it's been a long time," Hudson greeted. My dad stood up and patted his shoulder. "Good kid, long time no see. You've gotten so strong." My mom smiled. I knew from when he was little that this boy was strong. He could eat 3 big bowls of rice when he came over. After their small talk, I was surprised and pointed at Hudson. "You two know each other?" "Of course. Don't you recognize him? He used to come over with Ryan when he was younger, but after he changed schools, we lost contact." Suddenly, it hit me. "You're the little chubby one?" Back then, when Ryan's parents were busy, they would ask my parents to cook extra food. Ryan, feeling awkward eating alone, brought a friend along. At the time, my attention was always on Ryan, so I never really noticed what his friend looked like. I only remembered he was a bit chubby and ate a lot. Hudson looked nothing like that boy now. He rubbed his nose. It was puberty. I had a huge appetite and didn't exercise, so I knew better than to bring it up again. Years passed, and Hudson got along very well with my parents. Before I knew it, our engagement party was set. I teased him. "Who said I was marrying you?" Hudson traced his finger over my palm, whispering, "You agreed yesterday. You can't go back on it." When I asked why he proposed yesterday, I realized he was trying to rush the marriage. Well, if the boy is obedient and a little spoiled, what's wrong with that? All right, I won't go back on it. The engagement party was set for 2 months later, perfect timing. I didn't have to worry about a thing, just invite my friends. Looking at the message at the bottom, I hesitated for a moment, but still sent it. "Ryan, my engagement party is on March 7th. Are you coming?" Once it was sent, I didn't think about it again. Whether he came or not didn't matter. I invited him only so things wouldn't be awkward between our families. But soon, I regretted that decision. Chapter 10. Seeing Ryan again felt like a lifetime had passed. He looked haggard, with dark circles under his eyes, but he had still styled his hair and showed up to my engagement party in a suit. When he saw me, his eyes lit up for a moment before he suppressed them into a bitter smile. "Long time no see, Emma." I smiled gracefully. "Yes, it's been a long time." The last time we had seen each other was a weekend during our 3rd year. His classmate, uninvited, had seen me and started pointing, scolding me. "So, you're Emma? I've been wondering how you can be so shameless breaking up with Ryan and still clinging to him," she said. A chill settled over my face. When have I ever clung to him? "If you didn't, then why did he break up with me?" she shot back. Seeing her love-struck expression, I shook my head in pity. "If Ryan broke up with you, shouldn't you be asking him why?" Before she could respond, Ryan rushed over, cutting her off. "Elena, what the hell are you doing?" Then he turned to me, looking apologetic. "Sorry, Emma. Can I take you out to eat later?" I nodded, seeing this as a good opportunity to clear the air. I don't know what Ryan said to Elena, but she ran off crying. Over dinner, Ryan began to explain. "Do you remember our high school teacher?" I nodded. Back then, Ryan used to skip class and get into fights. One time, some thugs surrounded him outside school. Our class teacher saved him, but ended up beaten, with a broken bone, and spent 2 months in the hospital. After that, Ryan began taking his studies seriously. Elena is his daughter. At the time, I didn't understand how I felt about you. People whispered behind my back, calling me your family's promised child. My pride got in the way, and I became more and more frustrated about being tied to you. I hated the pressure from our elders, and just wanted to escape. When it came time to fill out university applications, the teacher asked me to visit Elena, and on impulse, I switched my application to her school.
He sighed.
I'm not telling you this to ask for forgiveness. Maybe it's selfish, but saying it out loud makes me feel better. Back then, I loved Ryan and chased him for answers. But now that I finally had them, my heart didn't stir at all. I looked out the window at the brilliant sunset and said with a soft smile, "It doesn't matter anymore." In the blink of an eye, Ryan was standing right in front of me, looking at me in an elegant, striking red cheongsam, his tone tinged with inevitable envy. After all this time, I still don't know who's lucky enough to marry our Emma. Before I could respond, Hudson appeared out of nowhere, his arms slipping around my waist in a dominant claim. "The lucky one is standing right in front of you." Even Ryan, no matter how oblivious, understood immediately. His temper exploded, raised his fist and swung at Hudson's face, his eyes blazing with fury. "I treated you like a brother, and you steal my girl. No wonder the advice you gave me never worked. You used it for yourself." Chapter 11. Ryan. "What are you doing?" The security guard rushed over and pulled Ryan back. Ryan's eyes were bloodshot, his body trembling with rage, fists clenched. He looked like a trapped beast, regret and frustration consuming him until the last thread of his restraint snapped. I glared at him and pointed. "Ryan, you're not welcome at my engagement party. Please leave." Without waiting for his reaction, I turned and held Hudson's bruised face in my hands, my heart aching. Does it hurt? He rubbed my hand. Yes, but if you kiss me, it won't hurt anymore. Hudson rarely acted so coy in front of others, but for some reason, I kissed him on the cheek. Come on, we need to put some medicine on it. Ryan watched our closeness, his emotions churning violently beneath his indifferent expression. His fingers trembled as he forced a bitter smile. Breaking free from the guard's grip, he left the hotel. Once out of sight, Ryan collapsed to his knees, covered his face, and cried, his sobs filling the air. His Emma would never return. No serious injuries, just apply the medicine on time, the doctor said. Thank you, doctor. I finally felt relieved. Are you stupid? Didn't you know to dodge? He wasn't wrong, I really wasn't fair, Hudson replied. I was intrigued. How weren't you fair? Hudson's eyes glinted with amusement. He asked me how to make you take the initiative to reconcile. I told him to get multiple girlfriends and post photos with them online to make you jealous. I was stunned. And he believed that? Hudson shrugged. So, it's not my fault's the fool. As I was still thinking about how he had given such awful advice, Hudson cut me off with a kiss. I'm your husband. Don't talk about other men. Smiling, I wrapped my arms around his neck and kissed him passionately. Understood, Mr. Hudson. Alternate story, Ryan's perspective. For as long as I can remember, Emma's name has always been part of my life. My mom was always asking when Emma would be back, and when she scolded me, she couldn't help saying, if Emma were my daughter, my dad would always pull my ear and remind me that Emma would be my wife, that I should love her, protect her, and never let her suffer. Sometimes Emma annoyed me, but I still looked forward to seeing her. Was she really that special? Eventually, I met her Emma, with her round eyes looking at me, melting my heart. She called me sweetly, Brother Ryan. I thought having such a little wife wouldn't be bad at all. When others bullied her, I got angrier than if it had happened to me. I couldn't stand seeing her hold back tears. That was when I silently vowed that I, Ryan, would never let Emma cry in this life. But when we got to high school, I had more friends, and it became harder to bring a girl around with me. There was always someone making fun of me. Gradually, I started to dislike Emma. I didn't like how she always followed me around. Didn't she have her own friends? Why was my name always tied to hers? But under that teenage stubbornness, I still cared. When she shyly confessed to me, I accepted right away. But I used the excuse that young relationships weren't good and asked her not to tell anyone. Through this relationship, Emma became more obedient. If I told her to stay home, she never followed me again. Even when I flirted with other girls, a few sweet words were enough to keep her from getting angry. I felt proud of my cunning. But this secret relationship didn't last long before our parents found out. They were overjoyed and immediately started arranging our engagement party. I was truly sick of it all. Just when my homeroom teacher had a talk with me, he mentioned his daughter. On a sudden impulse, I changed my university preference. Forget Beijing, I didn't want to be tied to Emma anymore. But when I saw her looking so sad, panic set in. I was afraid of losing her, yet I kept pushing her away with words I didn't mean. I often regret it. If I hadn't changed my university preference, maybe the one standing by Emma's side now would have been me. But there's no cure for regret. Ryan had lost his Emma forever.